Cosmic Awakening, 1991. Peru, Journey into the Unknown. Sacred Valley of the Incas. By Makāula Nakae. April 22, 1991, Nazca Lines. Episode 5, UFO Sighting Number 2, on the Hotel Rooftop. The Atacama Desert and UFO Encounters. Speaking of Nazca, one cannot ignore the Nazca alien mummy discovered in 2015. Connected to this is the Atacama alien mummy discovered in 2003 in the Atacama Desert of northern Chile, which was heavily featured in Sirius, a documentary film by Dr. Stephen Greer, the founder of CE5. Many of you are likely familiar with it. Known as Ata, this mysterious 6-inch skeleton sparked worldwide interest and speculation due to its tiny size and unique physical traits, specifically its elongated skull and fewer ribs than a normal human skeleton. In 2018, a research report published by a team led by Dr. Gary P. Nolan, an immunologist at Stanford University, concluded that Ata was not an alien, but rather the remains of a human fetus. DNA testing revealed that Ata possessed multiple genetic mutations associated with various skeletal disorders, including dwarfism and scoliosis, which contributed to its unique skeletal features. What is fascinating here is how academic thinking reflexively concludes that the Atacama mummy is simply a human fetal genetic mutation, rather than an extraterrestrial. If we assume that modern humans inherited the genes of humanoid extraterrestrials, it is entirely possible to view us humans as the mutated result of those alien genes. We can even consider ourselves genetic cousins to extraterrestrials. Given the unprecedented number of UFO and UAP sighting reports worldwide, the idea that humans are the only living beings in this vast universe is an outdated mindset and perspective. Because academic circles lack personal life experiences with UFO, UAP sightings, alien encounters, or communication with extraterrestrials, and therefore fail to understand their dynamics. A typical, closed-minded, rigid academic world persists in asserting that outside of Earth and humanity, no other life forms exist in this wide, magnificent galaxy and universe. The Atacama Desert in Chile is well known as a UFO sighting hotspot. Chile as a whole has a long history of UFO encounters, and the Atacama Desert is particularly recognized as one of the most frequent sighting areas. The region's clear skies and remote locations make it an ideal spot for observing anomalous aerial phenomena. The Atacama Desert is part of Chile's official UFO tourism route, established in 2008. This route includes areas with high frequencies of UFO sightings, such as the El Enlodrado geological platform. El Enlodrado is located within the Altos de Lurque National Reserve in south-central Chile. This area is a 2.5-hectare plateau, paved with massive brick-like flat stones. While its strange topography is officially attributed to natural formation, some theories suggest extraterrestrial involvement. El Enlodrado is situated at a high altitude and is known as a popular, highly scenic trekking route for adventure and UFO sightings. Although reaching it requires a long hike, visitors reportedly enjoy magnificent views of the surrounding volcanoes and mountains. For UFO researchers and enthusiasts, El Enlodrado is a particularly alluring location. Many visitors reportedly report UFO sightings in this region, making it an important landmark in Chile's nationwide history of UFO sightings. Given this background, it is hardly surprising that some people believe ancient civilizations used it as a spacecraft landing site. Other places in Chile with high numbers of UFO sightings include San Clemente and Cajon del Maipo, where numerous encounters with UFOs and humanoids have been reported. Combined with these factors, Chile, including the Atacama Desert, is globally acclaimed as a place where UFO enthusiasts have a high probability of witnessing these mystical phenomena. Ancient Hawaiian Menehune and Polynesian extraterrestrials. Seemingly connected to the 6-inch tall Atacama alien is the Menehune, a race of small people appearing in ancient Hawaiian lore. The legend of the Menehune is a mystical tale passed down through ancient times in the Hawaiian Islands. The Menehune are legendary beings handed down among native Hawaiians, accompanied by numerous interesting anecdotes, such as their superior architectural skills and habit of operating at night. Said to be the indigenous inhabitants who lived in the Hawaiian Islands before they were first settled by Polynesians, The Menehune are described as short, typically standing around 60 to 90 centimeters, 2 to 3 feet tall. They are nocturnal, avoiding human sight during the day and operating exclusively at night. Highly skilled artisans, they are said to have completed stone walls, ponds, and roads overnight. The Menehune Fish Pond, located near Naoko Harbor in northwestern Kauai, is said to have been built about 1,000 years ago and is one of the oldest fish ponds in the Hawaiian Islands. It features a stone-paved wall about 900 feet approximately, 274 meters long and 5 feet approximately, 1.5 meters wide, forming a weir to raise fish within the pond. Legend says this pond was built by the Menehune in a single night, carrying stones through the darkness to construct an elaborate weir. The stones required for building the pond were reportedly brought from far away on Kauai, demonstrating the staggering engineering capability and labor force of the Menehune. Similarly, the Menehune Ditch, an ancient irrigation system on Kauai, is spoken of as proof of the Menehune's extraordinary architectural prowess. Several legends regarding the existence of the Menehune and their structures also remain on Oahu, the principal tourist destination of the Hawaiian Islands. While Oahu lacks a famous Menehune fish pond like Kauai, the island contains legends and sites associated with them. Wilson Tunnel, located on the way to Oahu's North Shore, is said to be one of the places built by the Menehune. Legend states that their power was borrowed to construct this tunnel. In Manoa Valley, home to the University of Hawaii, a legend holds that the Menehune live there, and the valley's deep greenery and beautiful scenery create an atmosphere suggestive of their mystical existence. Moanalua Gardens, a tourist garden famous for the Hitachi tree, featured in television commercials, contains a Menehune fish pond said to have been built by them. There is also the Menehune Trail, believed to preserve their footprints. Nu'unu'upali Lookout is a famous Oahu tourist spot, and a legend associated with the Menehune exists here as well. It is believed they made pathways and structures when passing through the region. The Menehune Trail consists of pathways and stonewall structures said to have been built by them. The Menehune cleverly forged routes to pass through the area, which humans continue to use afterward. These paths are considered evidence of their advanced technology and labor force. Even today, some ancient trails and stonewalls remain intact and are popular as hiking routes. Nu'unu'upali is also famous as the site of the battle fought by Kamehameha in 1795 to unify Oahu. Interestingly, it is said that the Menehune helped Kamehameha's forces cross Nu'unu'upali. The rugged terrain and deep valleys surrounding Nu'unu'upali are said to be ideal hiding places for the Menehune. Lore has it that they utilize caves and hideouts in this region, living hidden from other people. Among local residents, stories persist of hearing the footsteps and whispers of the Menehune at night. Kaina Point Trail, located at Oahu's westernmost tip, is said to be the trace of the Menehune's migration. Furthermore, in Kahana Valley, located slightly north of the sacred site Kualoa on Oahu's eastern side, stands the stone Halala platform, said to have been constructed by the Menehune. Now, were the Menehune of ancient Hawaii extraterrestrials? When I visited the Honolulu Museum of Art on Oahu, I discovered a fascinating exhibit. Displayed in the Hawaiian section was a wooden stick spear known as an akua kai, dated to the early 19th century. Ikuya means god or sacred being, and kai means to carry, bear, or tool. Thus, it can be translated as a staff carrying a god. Carved on top of a pointed stick, it stands upright when inserted into the ground or into the thatched walls of a house. Ancient Hawaiians believed in supernatural beings called akua. Part of their appearance, expressed through wood carvings, is seen in the akua kai. The forms of the ancient Hawaiian gods often bear an appearance far removed from human imagery, looking extraterrestrial or reptilian. Easter Island, Rapa Nui, included within the Polynesian Triangle, features similar expressions of divine forms. Ranging from reptilian gods to deities carved with bird heads, these god forms represented in wood carvings vary widely in size, meaning the physical height of the actual gods cannot be definitively defined. However, since the height of the Atacama alien mummy is 6 inches, the size of the akua carved atop the akua kai, the staff carrying a god, is remarkably close. The Nazca alien mummies. The Nazca alien mummies were reportedly discovered in the Nazca region of Peru by looters and a treasure hunting group known as Huacaras, who operated in the city of Palpa near Nazca. These mummies immediately captured global attention due to their three-fingered hands and elongated skulls, stirring up massive controversy from the moment of their discovery. When these mummies were widely publicized in 2017, they sparked both interest and skepticism among the scientific community and the general public. While some researchers claim these mummies were human, remains pieced together from different individuals to resemble aliens, and the Peruvian prosecutor's office reported that these extraterrestrial mummies were recently manufactured dolls covered in a mixture of paper and synthetic glue to mimic skin. Interestingly, many experts criticized these claims. They pointed out that detailed scientific analyses, including DNA testing and carbon dating, suggest the mummies are not fakes, but rather human humanoids. Police departments and bureaucratic offices are certainly rigid in their thinking, aren't they? They simply cannot bring themselves to accept that these are not human, but space beings or extraterrestrials, locked within the narrow mindset that only Earthlings, humans, exist in this universe. No doubt they worry that admitting the truth would cause trouble. Yet, without dismissing it, if they cleverly utilize this for advertising and public relations, I am certain the tourism industry would flourish. Upon seeing the discovery of these Nazca mummies and the release of the footage, the moment I looked at the face of a small extraterrestrial being with several eggs inside its abdomen, I thought it strongly resembled the structure of the head and face of the first entity that appeared during my close personal experience with two extraterrestrials retrieved in 2012. In that experience, only the head was visible. I couldn't see the entity's height, torso, arms, or legs. However, because I was looking at it from such close range, I remember the facial construction clearly. It looked remarkably similar to that face. The sightseeing flight over the Nazca lines was a battle between fear and nausea, but I managed to watch without throwing up in the cabin. Since it was a one-day tour spanning from Lima, the day vanished in the blink of an eye. Even calling it a city tour of Nazca, we moved at a hurried pace, and there was no luxury of time to properly explore the museum. Extending from that, there was zero opportunity to stroll leisurely through the town of Nazca. If I ever have the chance to go again, I would want to spend at least 2 nights staying in the town of Nazca. A 2-night stay would allow for much more exploration of the surrounding area, as well as a chance to gaze up at the night sky of Nazca. Doing so might even bring a UFO or two out to greet us. UFO sighting number 2. UFO sighting on the hotel rooftop. The moment we returned to the Lima hotel, Tadashi and I headed up to the rooftop restaurant for dinner, alongside Kiboki, a male participant from our tour. Chasing right behind us, a mother and child pair from the tour entered and sat at the table directly in front of us. As we started chatting, we realized they weren't actually a mother and child. The pairing consisted of Naoko, a 17-year-old high school student who was the youngest participant on the tour, and Sakimura, a stage actress acting as a proxy chaperone for Naoko's mother. Naoko called her Saki. The 5 of us sat facing each other across the table, talking about the day's events and how we got here. While gazing blankly up at the starry sky, Naoko spoke up in a calm, matter-of-fact voice. A UFO. Hearing those words, all of us instantly stood up and headed out to the terrace, which turned into a frantic scramble to spot the UFO following Naoko. Saki spotted it immediately, and I managed to find it relatively easily as well. The sensation of that moment remains quite vivid in my memory even now. Naoko pointed up into the night sky, indicating the spot, but among the shining stars above, I couldn't find a single object that looked obviously like a UFO at a glance. All I saw were twinkling stars. While wondering where on earth it could be, I felt a sensation as if something had connected inside me, and at that exact instant, I knew precisely where in the night sky I should look. That feeling can only be described as feeling like someone plugged something in. The most fitting expression would be that an antenna had been connected. Through pure sensation, I knew clearly where to look. I felt as though my consciousness had automatically locked onto the UFO period. Some might call it intuition, but was it something even beyond that? Tadashi and Kiboki, however, seemed flustered, and as time passed, they appeared increasingly lost as to where they were supposed to be looking. The UFO we saw at that time shone slightly larger than a star, its light shifting between orange, green, and white. It was either a formation of spherical bodies or disc-like shape with multiple spherical lights illuminated. There were about 4 lights or 4 craft spinning and bobbing slightly side to side. Unlike the popular image of moving at hyperspeed, it simply hovered statically in the night sky, looking just like a star, with zero indication that it was going to move anywhere. Tadashi went all the way back down to his room to fetch his video camera and tried searching for the UFO again, but once more he couldn't find it. Because the UFO hovered quite motionlessly for a very long time, our necks grew sore from constantly staring up at the night sky, and the initial novelty gradually faded, so we returned to our seats and resumed our conversation. Tadashi and Kuboki ended up failing to spot it entirely. As they walked back to the table, they looked as though they were reluctant to let go, expressing deep regret that they hadn't been able to see it like we did. Shortly after that situation, Edward the channeler popped by, and we conversed with him for a while with Naoko acting as interpreter. After he left, several groups arrived at the restaurant to begin eating. When I stepped out onto the terrace to look up at the night sky, once more, a female participant from the tour came over and asked, "What are you doing?" When I replied, "A UFO was here a moment ago, so I was wondering if it's still around," she started searching alongside me. Then, slightly to the left of where it was before, we found the UFO still puttering about. When I pointed it out to her, she was able to spot it right away. The sensation this time took just a fraction longer than the first, but the feeling was nearly identical. At a certain moment, I just knew, there it is. Instead of searching by moving my gaze while thinking or scanning around, my direction locked on instantly. I just knew. As the two of us marveled, saying, "This town is amazing," Tadashi came over again to try his hand at finding the UFO, but once more he couldn't spot it. According to the people there, fundamentally, there are people who can see UFOs and people who cannot. While secretly finding it strange that not everyone could see it equally, I felt a strange sense of acceptance. Later on, Edward explained, if you carry too much excessive expectation, misunderstanding, or ego regarding UFOs within your inner self, you simply won't be able to see them. Tadashi and I bade everyone good night, and with a light-hearted joke, maybe we'll be seeing UFOs left and right from here on out. We retreated to our room, took showers, finished packing our bags for tomorrow's departure, and drifted off to sleep. And just as we had casually joked without giving it deep thought, we ended up witnessing UFOs over and over again throughout the course of this tour. To be continued. Watch and listen. Watch the cinematic video trailer. Listen to the full podcast now. Explore the archived Cosmic Awakening Volume 1, 1991, Peru, Journey into the Unknown. Sacred Valley of the Incas. Volume 2, Ascension 2012, The Golden Alchemy. Part 3, The First Contact. Join the journey. New episodes drop periodically. Each chapter delivers a tight, hyper-focused 10 to 30-minute hit of real-life experiences, perfect for your daily plunge into consciousness exploration. Subscribe to support your inner development. Thumbs up to help push our channel through the algorithm. Comment below. Share your thoughts on today's episode.